Today we're here to talk about evolution. If you didn't know, evolution is a theory. The theory of evolution states a couple of really important things. The first thing that it states that modern organisms are descended and modified from ancient organisms. The other thing that it states is that evolution is based in DNA. DNA in a conglomeration makes up genes. And when we look at the theory of evolution, what we find are that genes change in a population. Now, we're not talking about individuals, we are talking about a large group together. That is the way evolution exists, is through populations. And these genes in a population, they do change from one generation to the next over time in very small increments. So you don't see changes in evolution from one generation to the next, meaning that you wouldn't see me, who looks like this, have offspring or a child that has wings. That would be a really crazy change or modification in evolution. But what we might see in thousands of generations or millions of years, that humans do evolve or change into a different form. So evolution does take indeed a long time, and it is based in DNA. So you might be saying, well, what's a theory? A theory is very different than a hypothesis. Generally, the way that we use the word theory every day is totally incorrect. So if someone says, I have a theory that this weekend it's going to be much warmer than it has been this past 2 weeks, well, that's incorrect. That's just a hypothesis or an educated guess. A theory is information that is based, and usually it's a natural phenomenon that's based in a lot of data by a lot of scientists, and they all come to the same conclusion. Now, the thing about this piece of information, we often call it a fact. It's not necessarily completely true because we might find that in the near future that someone disproves this fact. The thing is that technology often changes over time. So we might find that we discover a new piece of technology that disproves the theory of evolution, for example. But at this current time, there is lots and lots of data by lots and lots of scientists. They all come to the same conclusion of those points I just talked about what is the theory of evolution. And nobody at this time can disprove them. So today, I want to give you some information about what those facts are, or what that data is that tells us that evolution is a theory. So we're going to look at 5 different pieces or parts of the data set that tells us that evolution is a theory. We're going to look at embryology, limb structure, fossil and transition animals, skull structure, and then also biochemistry. So let's start here with embryology. Embryology is the study of embryos. What we mean by an embryo is that as sperm and egg come together and they make that first cell, they go through a period of what we call cleavage, or that one cell goes into 2, it cleaves into 2, it cleaves into 4, it cleaves into 8, and then we get eventually the amount of cells that we are in our body. So embryology is the study of a fertilized egg and how it develops. Now, if we take a look at these pictures here, I'm guessing that you all can tell the difference between a pig and the humans. It's pretty easy in the adult form. However, let's take a look at the embryos. We have 3 different embryos here. We have a human, we have a pig, and we have a lemur. Can you tell the difference between the 3? Now it gets very difficult. The thing about these 3 organisms is that they are all vertebrates. That means that these are organisms that have a backbone. So, in the early embryology stages, we're going to find that these 3 organisms look very similar because they come from a very common ancestor. Now, if we took a look at something like a butterfly and one of these, we would see that their early embryology stages are very different. So, if we take a look at these, you might not know that this was the lemur, the first one, the second one was the pig, and the third one is the human. Their similarity, again, shows that they come from a closely related common ancestor. Now, let's take a look at